Ooh, boy, what a chilly morning. Yeah, glad I don't have to run around too much today. Got a few things to do though. One of the things is to load all this crap up into the back of the truck and take it off to the dump. I gotta say, guys, I was feeling pretty bad the other day. Here's the remains of Joyce's crap in the living room. This workbench is mine. Old big screen TV still works. Anyway, if anybody in the Seattle area or Olympia area wants that, let me know. I'll give it to you. I'm feeling good. I am back to being pain-free. Go figure, huh? I mean, I thought I was pretty darn close to dying, but now I'm starting to think that I might just live a few more months. Got some breakfast on the stove here. I'm going with tilapia and fried eggs this morning. I got some. There was in the deep freeze. There was a turkey that was there for a couple of years. So I yanked the thing out and used a recipe from that I plagiarized from a couple of prepper friends of mine, and marinated it, ran it through the oven, and basically that was my dinner the other day. And I know it's not really traditional, but basically I take the turkey, and then I take some of these toasted sesame seeds, or even in bulk. The bulk ones are still just about as good as the roasted ones. And I take some of this hot mustard, and just like they do in the Chinese restaurants with pork, I just sort of dip it in the hot mustard, and then roll it in the sesame seeds, and very, very tasty. So basically, as far as my condition goes, guys, I'm starting to think that I might just live a few more months. I was in really bad shape. Basically, I came home from Mexico totally clueless about what was going on. My dad didn't give me a single phone call or warning that my sister was stealing everything that wasn't nailed down. He basically he replaced my doorknobs, and his own too, which Joyce promptly stole the key for. She just ran circles around that old fart, right? And just emptied my whole freaking room out. And basically then when I showed up here without any warning at all of that pain and anguish and betrayal and shock and despair and anger and the grieving process and all of that shit just hit me like a freaking tidal wave all at once. I mean, if Dad could have warned me about it, about what she was doing, I would have been vastly more prepared and emotionally more prepared, and I would have been able to basically do, and I would have been basically vastly less obliterated by by that whole mess. And I'm thinking that, and I had to like put my dad's relationship with me on the workbench, just like I did with my mom. And I have to kind of, measure how he is, how his performance has been all my life, pretty much. And basically, it's a situation where if things are going well, I can count on him to behave like a father. But when things are going not as well, he won't have my back, right? And I gotta say, maybe he was like torn between two children, right, or two of his kids, right, and he couldn't decide, but he just let Joyce just obliterate my place and didn't warn me. And the result was all of that anguish and pain and whatnot hit me so hard that within 2 days of coming back here, my liver was just in absolute agony. It was almost intolerable. And I fled the house, and I basically went to live in hotels for a couple of days. And then basically I started getting better, but it was so bad, guys. The pain was just so crazy bad that I was pretty close to calling it a day. And I had to like kind of work that out, and it took me like a month to really decide, what, and realize that I had a real complaint, and the complaint needed to be aired. And I basically gave my complaint to my old man, in a very calm voice. This is what you have done. What do you have to say for yourself, right? And in return, he offered me a lie, which he was saying, well, you might not believe this, but I didn't know, And I said, that's of course a lie, because you changed the locks. You knew you were suspicious enough to change the locks, and you kept your refrigerator in my room all the time I was gone, and you were in there all the time, and you saw things going missing. So that is clearly a lie. Give me an explanation that is the truth. What do you have to say for yourself? And he didn't really respond, and he moaned a little bit, and just went into his room, and then went off to. Then he said he was going off to a town nearby where he used to live, and didn't really say what he was going to do there. But now he's been gone for 2 days, and he always talks about how he's going to end himself and whatnot, which kind of makes sense at his age, and in his position. He hasn't taken steps to go low carb. He hasn't done anything to increase his well-being. Instead he just sits there and degenerates and watches Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, believing everything she says, and then basically he wonders why his life is crap, right? And And now he has been gone since Saturday and probably driving around aimlessly, feeling sorry for himself. But he is pretty much a basic coward, and and I don't think he has the balls to do what he's talking about. So I'm not really concerned about that. But the thing is, I had him scheduled for a hearing test because I was going to buy him one of those sets of $7,000 sets of hearing aids so that he can get some of this friggin' hearing back. And if he misses that hearing aid appointment, which we've been waiting for weeks, I am not going to be pleased. And I'm not entirely sure that he is worth the investment to basically buy him all of that crap. And my younger sister suggested that I buy him a house. She's been trying to find him an apartment, which has not been going well because he is old and he hasn't maintained his credit and he hasn't planned and he hasn't done anything to basically set himself up so that he can be self-supporting. And now he's just driving around probably feeling sorry for himself. So basically it's an unfortunate situation, but it's a situation of his own creation. He simped out, didn't give me a warning that Joyce was obliterating all of my stuff, and when I complained about it, now he's running around feeling sorry for himself and not doing anything useful, and shooting himself in the foot on his hearing aid situation. So how much investment is that guy worth, right? All throughout my life, he has not really been in my corner. He has been somewhat in my corner when things are going well and comfortable. When things aren't going as well, he doesn't have my back. And that's probably one of the reasons I was bullied so heavily in school, because I knew I had no protection. And so I had to be, pretty much self-sufficient, and eventually I figured out that I had to fight back, even though I was told not to. And lo and behold, the bullying stopped. Go figure. So how much investment is he worth? I'm just going to have to, I told my sister that, the good one, I got one good sisters and two sisters that aren't worth anything you would scrape off your boot. So what, what should I do? I'm kind of torn. I know now that I'm not going to buy his stupid ass a house. He has not earned it. And if he fucks up his hearing aid test today, I don't know if I'm going to I think I might just let him deal with being friggin' deaf, and I think I'm going to be spending less time with him because of what he has failed to do. He failed to have my back, failed to protect me, failed to have my interests as an integral part of his own interests. And the result is, I understand now that I can't depend on him. I can't trust him. And when I asked him to explain himself, all he did was offer me a lie, right? So what do I do? So I'm gonna have to just start cutting ties with the guy, So that's the situation I'm in. Man, simping is probably the core issue of what he has, what he's been doing and his failure. And he is not alone, because I was simping when I let my crazy homeless sister move into my house. Stupidest thing, man. And if my mother had warned me that she had stolen a bunch of crap from her, then I might have thought twice about it, but she did not warn me. And of course, there's this situation. I'm going to completely go off in another direction now. I have that truck camper, and I've been interested in doing these RV meetups and stuff, running all over the country and whatnot. I've been interested in that for a few years, and I used to be a paying member of this rubber tramp rendezvous thing, where this old dipshit simp, basically, he started this thing. That was a pretty awesome thing. He started it, and it was a beautiful organization where people would join little groups and run around and do various things, and it's sort of quasi for it's like quasi RV and quasi mobile lifestyle, and some van life people who are just basically homeless, right? And it was a great organization, but then he just simped out and let women take over the frickin' organization. And they started doing shit like having women's only rubber trap rendezvous. And then if you are in the forums or anything, and you say anything that the women, old, fat, stupid, ugly ass, ancient, frickin' humongously fat, ugly ass women decided that they didn't want to hear, they just censored the living crap out of you. And eventually I just got so sick of the whole thing, I shut off my subscription and cut off the money. And just like Paul Elam and his A Voice for Men, it was a great organization, ran awesome, and it was just, and he was doing great, awesome things, and actually trying to make some kind of difference. And then women came in, and he started letting women take over and make the decisions, and then they started hating on MGTOW, and that woolly bumblebee chick, she was like working for him, and hating, putting all these anti-MGTOW videos out, and eventually it caused it accelerated the eventual exodus that MGTOW had to do from A Voice for Men. So I cut off my regular monthly donation to AVFM, and that cost them money, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, and basically ended my participation there. And he is still pissed off at that. And I checked, and I'm still blocked on Paul Elam's channel, even like 8 years later. And then I went to BitChute, commented on one of his videos, and then he blocked me there too. So he is not done with being angry over MGTOW splitting off of his private barony kingdom that he was running. So basically, yeah, Dad is not alone in his simpingness, and I did it too when I let my stupid ass homeless sister move in. And by God, don't ever do that. If somebody is homeless, they're homeless for a reason. They're homeless not just for one sudden thing. They are homeless because of a long series of poor decisions and dysfunctional attitudes, not adapting to current real conditions. And then if you shore them up by giving them a place to live, they will just continue being dysfunctional, and they will continue And then eventually their dysfunctionality will bite you in the butt, just like it did with me. So I did a little bit more analysis on the two Trezor hardware wallets that she stole. They're totally useless to her, but I discovered that I have like 5 Bitcoins and 63 Litecoin in that one. And that works out to about $300,000, which is a pretty small percentage of my holdings, And now I'm wondering, should I, now that she's out of the house and can no longer file false domestic accusations of domestic violence, right? That's her big bazooka that she had pointed at me that caused me to have to walk on eggshells while she continued ransacking the house. All it would have taken was one phone call, and they would have hauled me off to jail without my cancer meds. I might have been dead within a week. So basically, now she's out and she's off the lease. The locks are changed and everything. And now my question is, I wonder if I should file a police report on the thefts. And I don't think I'll ever get any kind of compensation, or I doubt I'll even get any of it back. But it could cause her some problems in the future, which kind of adds to the symmetry of the world, because she certainly caused me some problems. And I doubt I would ever need the $300,000, but it is quite a theft. It's a couple of years, like 3 years' wages as a mechanic. So yeah. So in any case, that's where I am right now. But on the bright side, I am back to being pain-free, and I am suspecting that the strategy of using Fenben plus megadosing of vitamin D as well as C and E, I'm thinking that those might just be like the silver bullet for cancer. Maybe I've got a shot at living a few months, or even more. If I live 6 months, I'll jump back on a plane and head for Mexico, hang out with Monger, and then get another PET scan and see where I am. See what the progress or lack thereof is, assuming I remain pain-free. But until then, I'm going to see if I can get the titles to my freaking vehicles replaced, which she stole. I'm not sure if I'll even bother with my birth certificate at this point. I might get back with the State Department because I'm a foreign-born American citizen, and see if I can get another birth certificate issued. Jeez. And I suspect she probably pulled the birth certificates out and ripped them up in a fit of rage. Twisted little fuck she is, man. I supported her. Dad and I gave her a free place to live for 7 years, and all that time her hatred and rage and resentment, the fact that she is such a pathetic loser and I actually can succeed and do something useful in the world, increased her resentment to the point of absolute searing rage and hatred that's been dumped on me for like 4 years. No wonder I couldn't get rid of the cancer. But now that she's gone, whoa, I'm recovering. Go figure. But, so that's where I am. I'm wondering, should I bother? Because if I file the police report, I might end up in court and having to look at her stupid, ugly, hateful ass again. And basically, why would I want to do that? Is that worth $300,000? I'm not sure. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go, and don't get married. And don't let your stupid ass sister live with you either.